We're sending stuff over to the Senate. Well, most of the product that we've done is, except now we may have added in the last day or so, and some of what we added is Senate to the bill, like hearing. Bernie doesn't like hearing. Excuse me, Bernie loves hearing. Manchin doesn't want hearing in the bill and all that stuff. So some is Senate-oriented, and then we have the family medical need. We figured if they're putting things in, then we can put something in, even if Manchin doesn't like it. So we are getting some bird and privilege. I think mostly we're getting privilege scrub, because privilege scrub is deadly to a bill. Birdable is important. You have to take it out, but privilege violation can take you out. So we're again getting that as we go along as well. But when we pass a bill, then they will see it in its aggregate and make some.
Any concerns that any of this is, quote, messaging, because that they have to take some of those things out regardless, no matter what you send over? You said you weren't going to send a messaging bill.
No, we're not sending a messaging bill, but we want to be sure that what we send is not birdable or bird bath or privilege scrub. They're the two exercises we're going to engage. Bathing exercise.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. As usual, I am Blurred Liberty. Yes, as always is my, as usual, not always, but as usual is my co-host, Liz Swine over here. We're going to be,
everybody?
We're going to be talking about a bunch of shit. We really are completely and utterly unprepared for this show. It's the weekend, man. We've been having fun. But either way, so we're just going to go ahead and first and foremost talk about Nancy Pelosi's latest word diarrhea that she just came out on center stage, and it's left everybody mind blown. We're going to talk about that. But and then we're going to go ahead and show you guys our one of our favorite tools for research. But as always, people, before we get into that, you know what fucking time it is, guys. Let's get into this. Whew-wee. Enjoy that intro, guys.
Sticky.
Well, let me run it down to you, communist, homosexual, faggot, dipshit, motherfucker. Fuck you, that's why. 'Cause fuck you, that's why. 'Cause helmets suck, that's why. And comments like you swallow, that's why. Fuck Pete Wilson, that's why. Fuck Dick Floyd, that's why.
So, fucking Nancy Pelosi, man. What'd you think?
I think that she was absolutely intoxicated or not on her medication. One of the two. I mean, she seemed to be in the state where she was making sense to herself because she just kept saying it.
Right. Any people that are actual, college educated political analysts and shit like that is bird bathing and is fucking privilege scrubbing is that a thing? Like this is my first time ever fucking hearing that shit. What the fuck is she talking about?
I heard something to the akin that the bird she was referencing an old bill as far as like a reference goes, like something that's basically like a ground floor. I mean, like you said, it was kind of underprepared for this one. I didn't check those terms either because she was not making a lot of sense to me.
I even tried checking them. I did try checking them. I was like, I fucking typed into fucking the old fucking, the great Google, the purveyor of all information. Fucking, what does the term bird bathing mean? And they usually refer to it as like a fucking, just a quick shower, something like that, just fucking with the splashing water and shit. I have no idea what the fuck bird bathing is, and apparently most people don't either.
What do you think about the privilege scrub, though? I mean, that could just be a twisted Democratic talking platform or whatever.
Right. Pure I guess existential virtue signaling, right? She's just trying to, jumble words together that are basically hot button words and, make a new thing. Like, like, God damn it, Nancy Pelosi, stop trying to make fucking fetch happen. It's not going to fucking happen. Right?
Privilege scrub, because that's one of the exercises.
Right. We must scrub the nation of its whiteness. We must scrub white privilege from the nation. Like, dude, she's a fucking Nazi, man. She wants to fucking
right.
The final solution to fucking equality: get rid of white people. Like,
you even play that video to someone that doesn't pay attention, and they're like, "What in the fuck is she saying right now?"
Right. Yeah, I actually just played it for my lady, and she's just like, she was even trying to interpret like well, I don't know. Like, dude, she is fucking lost in the existential realm of fucking her mind. Like, she knows her fucking world is crumbling apart. She knows her entire party is crumbling apart. She knows that the entire belief in the Democratic fucking party is beyond shaken. It is almost fucked. It's FUBAR. It's straight FUBAR, right? Fucked up beyond all repair, right? And it's the roosters are coming home to the chickens are coming home to roost, so to speak, in her mind, and she's realizing how fucked they really are. Fucking, if this, like I said, if this was fucking old school, like Greek and fucking Roman, fucking, I forget which one it is, but the ones where fucking, if their most corrupt politicians are exiled, they are realizing that the death bells are ringing for them. The people are coming for them, and the people want blood.
After seeing that latest faux pas there, for like, what was it, like 2.5 minutes of just complete nonsense, what do you think the actual goal of sending her on any kind of foreign, diplomatic mission would be?
I don't know. Maybe they're hoping she gets shot out of the sky by China, so that way, the people can back the war machine. Because ultimately, that's what the government's always been about. Fucking, I don't know, if you look into the history of the entire United States, depending on which search engine you ask, of course, you'll see that there's been roughly about 15 years of relative peace throughout the entire history of the United States. The governments are very, very much well aware that war means money, and that's it's, if we're not seeing it here, it's ringing too true. Joe Biden single-handedly, with the biggest fiasco in military strategic history, pulled us out of Afghanistan and essentially turned the nation back over to the people that we've been fighting for 20 years to liberate the nation from. And all within the same presidential term is about to start us in World War III. Like,
exactly, and that's where I was going to go with it. And then on top of that, she's trying to make it worse. But I'm sure you've seen she's inviting more of our high-ranking diplomats to go with her.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one, but yeah, definitely, I say it's I don't know, it's almost like a sacrificial false flag, right? Like,
yeah,
sacrifice the lamb so that the fucking flock may get enraged, and it's like, ultimately it's a flock of sheep. But if you want to take like they say in Training Day, to protect the sheep, you must kill the wolf. Fucking ultimately, the wolf is the ones in power, the ones that keep you in fear, the ones that you're afraid of, the ones that always need you to be afraid. Right? To protect the flock, you strike down the wolf. Simple.
For sure.
But so let's go ahead and segue on into our next segment here. We're going to show you guys a tool that we used for really just kind of getting the bias of all news, and it's a news search engine called Ground News. I previously I've talked about them before, but yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's probably the best news aggregate there is. It's no matter what way you lean, they got the story you want to read. To be honest, because you can just switch it over to your political leaning. Right. Or the obvious use for it is to see what the other political side thinks.
Exactly. And as you guys could see from my media bias over here, I tend to read mostly left, even though, as you could tell from my demeanor and my political banter, I am clearly what the left defines as far right. And so
extremist.
Extremist. He's a libertarian. Get rid of him. Right. So you can see
freedom means enslavement.
I clearly read more left-wing bias because I'm amazed by the mental gymnastics that they tried to do. Like, they recently fucking are trying to redefine recession after literally just weeks before they came out and said, no, we're not in a recession. A recession is defined as 2 quarters of negative GDP back to back. And then once that comes to fruition, they're like, actually what we meant was like, dude, the mental gymnastics. Fauci tried the same thing with gain of function, but fucking, of course, we all know Rand Paul ain't fucking taking fucking Fauci shit. I mean, he's gonna call him out every fucking left and right he can.
Right, and I sent you the screenshot. They literally changed the definition of definition, and then
I
shortly
saw that.
after I sent it to you, I saw several shows where people were talking about it.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's
It's
pretty
pure.
crazy shit.
It's pure gaslighting, people. It's pure mental gymnastics. So let's of course start with this first one that you guys have been literally seeing on your screen for the last like 2 minutes. Biden tests positive for COVID again. Will restart isolation despite no new symptoms. So that could be taken many different ways. All right. So if I can, I don't know. Do you want to start? What's your take on this?
I mean, of course, the immediate, reaction is going to be like, I thought it was like triple V's,
Right.
right?
Right.
But then the other takeaway is right before the midterms, they just try to hide his ass so he doesn't, embarrass the party more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Disassociate the party with the people every chance he gets. So, I mean, it's easier just like during the campaign if, they just keep him hidden away.
Right. So let's see. The little subtext here is President Joe Biden on Saturday tested positive for COVID-19 once again after consecutive days of testing negative for the virus, his physician said. So clearly he had the virus just, a few weeks ago, and he, overcame it. It left him, right? And then he recovered from it. And now he is starting to test positive again, just literally after a few days of testing negative continuously. So I mean, is Biden like fucking immune system just is that severely destroyed within his old age? Did they cut off his supply of adrenochrome? Like what's going on here? So what I so what I think is like either one, like you said, they're just trying to keep him, just shut him up. Just tell him to shut up. Like here, we'll file some positive tests or whatever. Just and say that we need to keep him isolated again. Because once you let the Biden out of the bag, he has this uncanny ability, as even Obama will tell you, to fuck things up. Right.
Yeah, jam his
So-
foot ankle deep.
So of course that's what they're trying to do. But whether he has it or not, it's a clear completely detrimental to their original narrative of if you're triple vaxxed and if you continue to get the boosters, you're going to be safe, right? As we can clearly see, that is not happening. That is not the reality of what they're trying to sell. These, it's a, and then essentially what is it doing? Because ultimately, if we look at the numbers and stuff, a lot of the people that seem to be getting, reinfected are people that are boosted. I mean, for one, I'm a what you would call a pureblood. I am not fucking vaxxed and all, not boosted, none of that. And I talk to people every day, and I surely don't feel like I've gotten COVID again. I've already had it twice, and I mean, maybe I built some bad word here, natural immunity, but
Dun, dun.
right. So at the same time, it's helping their political cause, but at the same time, it's also destroying their original narrative. So ultimately, what they've come to realize is the attention span of the American people, though they are becoming more politically awakened. It is true. They still have the attention span of a goldfish, right? They'll forget the news.
It's because it's because you're bombarded with shit. I mean, we know. I mean, just like we're showing an aggregate right.
Yeah.
Information 24 hours up to the minute.
Yep. It's the fear porn, the fear campaigns and shit. And it's like I say, it's you need to be constantly afraid, forget what you were afraid of last week, because there's a whole new thing to be afraid of. And guess what? There's something that's on the rise that you should even be more afraid of, like it's just constant fear porn, so that's why, I think it's important for, people like me, people like you, people like Tim, like Tim Pool, people like fucking even Joe fucking Rogan, people like Salty, people like Sticks, all these people that just literally interpret their interpretation of the news, through their scope of perception, right? Because we all have a different view on life. So of course it's great to get everyone's point of view, but of course you can't do that. So just kind of try to pick out the best ones, I suppose, right? Those are of course some of our favorite broadcasters. Of course, I mean, there's also people like Bongino, but of course we tend to think of him as a bit of a Republican fucking establishment shill bootlicker, but he does have some good points. But let's get to some of these other headlines. So Ukraine, Zelensky announces mandatory, let's see if this will load, mandatory evacuation from Donetsk region. Pretty interesting.
While he's posing for Vogue. So, yeah.
Right.
You're going to take your wife down and pose for Vogue and then declare an emergency.
Right. Fucking A, man. Like, and the fact that, like I say, fucking, we're still seeing the people with their faded, worn out, I support Ukraine flags in their front yard and stuff, of course. But it seems like the I support Ukraine thing seemed to have died out with the Pride Month. And, I honestly don't really social media too much unless I'm sharing the channel or shit posting. So, I really don't even know what the current thing people are supporting is right now, but I'm sure it's something, right? Yeah, ultimately, fucking, that's probably the best way for us to get news. Maybe people are supporting Taiwan. If not, as our bias, they probably should be.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Taiwan is obviously one of our main trade partners. Why would I understand we get a lot of food from Ukraine, but we have the ability to produce that food on a mass scale at any given time.
Preach.
Our farmers are paid not to produce. But in Taiwan, they're producing a product that we can't just fire up the old engine and start firing out. That's something that, a lot of the minerals come from, other places that are obviously have to be imported. And so, we have no choice,
Yep. Exactly, man. So, a lot of our allegiance with Ukraine stems from after, of course, from them denuclearizing for us, essentially, basically, thinking that's from what I pick up from what I've been reading around. Of course, a lot of people would disagree with me and say it's all for this and that reasons, or it's this and that, it's whatever. But their ultimate claim is they fucking denuclearized for the United States. They essentially took off their shirt and said, "Take me, protect me, oh great United States."
I agree, but wouldn't you believe that they did that as a further, like, the bigger picture as being part of the UN?
Right, right. That's essentially like the homage that they paid to become, to essentially, that's kind of their initiation into the UN is, first you got to become our bitch and fucking denuclearize for us, and then we'll protect.
Right. So
you.
Right, so they expected the backing of a whole lot more countries than just America,
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure other countries have put in their little bit, but nobody's sending, damn near $1 trillion over there.
Right. At least not anymore. Even the old billionaires, they ain't even fucking supporting Ukraine no more at this point. It's clearly a lost cause. It's clearly a lost fight. It is sad. Of course, all wars are sad. All wars are really unnecessary. If we could really just come to more understanding of the other person's point of view, and really just I don't know. I guess borders fucking matter, people. All fucking borders matter. Sovereignty of nations is very important. Ultimately in the real struggle of life, one must either sink or swim. The longer that the United Nations and America sits and coddles these nations and holds them afloat, when the shit really hits the fan, are they going to be able to sink or swim? Well, if you never learn to swim, you're fucking gonna sink.
Of course.
So let's check out what else we got here. So you want to check out the FAA clears Boeing to resume delivery of 787 Dreamliners, or let's talk more about ground news. So they have this feature called the blind spot feed, right? And basically what it does is it sorts out what sides are not reporting on what. All right. So it tells you, like I said, the ground news is basically a media bias sorter. So the stuff that the left seems to be ignoring. Whistleblower reveals FBI wrongly labeled the Hunter Biden stuff. So we haven't actually covered that. I mean, you wanna kind of go into that one a little bit?
Sure.
All right. So apparently, somebody up in the filing secretarial offices of the FBI apparently mislabeled the Hunter Biden the Hunter Biden laptop case as disinformation, and that led them to, basically putting it out there as, oh, the Hunter Biden laptop is disinformation. So it's what I feel is like they're basically trying to cover their tracks, because it has been undoubtedly proven as real information. Right? It's like if you deny the Hunter Biden laptop, you live in fucking la la land, people. All right.
Yeah, it's a physical item that you can see for yourself. I mean, I've shared plenty of files with.
Right. And so basically they're trying to cover their ass, because essentially them sweeping this under the rug during the election, this was essentially Trump's, foothold. This was basically his shoe-in, right? And the FBI intentionally, that's why they're trying to prove it as being an accident. If they intentionally withheld this information from the public, then they essentially are guilty of election meddling, right?
Either way, it's like they're guilty of election meddling, or they're just completely inept. And it's
Right.
almost like they'd rather take the completely inept route.
Right. They would rather admit, I'm stupid rather than I'm corrupt,
Right. Which is ridiculous. I don't know. If you believe in something, man, that if you do something, even if someone else doesn't approve, but you firmly believe it's true, dude, fuck you, right? Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'm a complete fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Then why are you even in that position, man?
Right. Exactly, man. So if let's see what the left seems to be, or the righties seem to be ignoring, because like I say, we're libertarians. We live somewhere within the middle grounds of the left and the right, right? We interpret everything because we understand better than your average bear. We don't just fall for the tricks of the lamestream media. We are the few, the proud, the libertarians. So let's check out what the righties seem to be ignoring. So which one do you want to go with? Jon Stewart blasts GOP for blocking burn pits bill, or Doug Mastriano under fire for ties to white, I'm guessing, supremacy. Oh, white nationalists.
Right. Go ahead, click on it.
The Doug Mastriano. I don't really know much about old Mastriano. Let's see. This one's gonna be mostly kind of a one-way talk here. So
I mean, it's going to be a learning experience for both of us.
Right. Yeah. So let's see. Doug Mastriano under fire for ties to white nationalists. Doug Mastriano, the Republican nominee for governor of Pennsylvania, said he rejected anti-Semitism in a statement posted to social media on Thursday. The statement came days after Gab founder and CEO Andrew Torba unleashed anti-Semitic triads in a live stream as he appeared to speak on behalf of the Mastriano campaign. The campaign said Torba was not a campaign spokesperson. His Gab account appeared to no longer be visible as of Thursday.
Oh man, where to go with that one, right?
You're also the Gab expert. I do have a Gab, but all you could do is find me on there. You can't really reach me on there because I'm never on there. But yeah, I do have one.
I would definitely have to see the video myself, because Andrew Torba he's an all around good guy. Believes in freedom of speech, freedom of religion, all that. He's like a I mean, I know tend to not believe that, but he's super Christian or what have you. He's like all American, one hell of a model American. And, I mean, and even if he did say that, what does somebody having an account on his platform have to do with their, either or's personal views? I mean, it's just a public platform like Facebook or, Twitter or whatever, man.
Right. As fucking Dave Chappelle said, Twitter is not a real fucking place, people. Right.
Yeah. And you can't just claim like, oh, well, it appears that he was speaking on behalf. And if they say, no, he wasn't, there's no association between the two. I mean, that's it. That should be fucking it. Instead, it gets blown up into the story because it has the possibility of fitting the narrative of, white supremacy.
Right, right. So a little theory that me and you have been kind of toying over about the left and their obsession with white supremacy. So we clearly see that, like, of course, with fucking Russiagate and things like that, the left's biggest their biggest tool that they use, and also their biggest flaw, is they use projection. Essentially, they're so fucking proud of themselves that they can't help but go out and say what they are doing, but of course they blame it on the other guy, right? So, just like fucking the Russia collusion thing. So who was really working with the Russians or the old Soviet Union people, aka the Ukraines and whatnot? We see who was clearly working with them now, right? They tried to
the
claim that it
uranium
was
one
Trump.
deal, and
Right.
yeah, but we know it was the Clintons. I mean, the Clinton Foundation. They got all these donations from Russian, backers. They were being paid like $250,000 per speech in Russia. The uranium one deal, where we transferred over a massive portion of our uranium to Russia. I mean, all that was coordinated by them through Obama, as obviously Clinton through the State Department. I mean, on and on, man. It's pretty obvious, hindsight, right?
Right. See, that's why I like talking with you, man. Because like I say, I'm a recently politically awakened, and I've always been a sort of awakened to the reality of reality, But ultimately, I've recently become politically awakened, and you have been in the political sphere for quite some time, and like I say, it really helps me to gain a political historian, sort of a perception of things, because like you said, like we were saying earlier, the people's attention span is about 5 minutes,
Right.
So, but
Yeah.
people like you that remember, the news story, the news headlines from 10 years ago, just like that, and you can just remember it, out of nowhere. That's why if you don't learn from history, you're bound to repeat history. And this guy right here, he knows his political history.
You had to do it before there was archive.today, man.
Right. Right. Somebody had to be the one to remember and tell the stories,
Right.
That's you, man. You're the fucking the storyteller of the past.
I appreciate it, man. I told you when I first met you, that was one of my goals.
Fuck
If
yeah,
I could
dude.
spark the liberty in just one, or a couple minds even, my job is done, man.
That's what it's all about, man. That's what we try to do here. So, see, what do you say? You guys want to cut it off right about here, man? So, we appreciate all of you, man. If you don't have a bowl packed, I'd suggest packing one real quick. But yeah, you definitely we appreciate all you guys. Like you said, ultimately, our goal is to ignite the spark of liberty in all of you people out there. I'm what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to do everything. I'm starting. If you guys notice, I just recently uploaded a new segment where I'm rethinking idioms. I'm basically taking the most commonly used phrases and I'm just giving them a new, I guess, modernist spin on them. Just giving, like I say, ultimately we have to see everything from all angles. People, we have to come from a point of understanding in order to come to a point of compromise, right? Basically, if I can't see your side of the story, then of course I'm just going to sit here and argue with you all day. If I'm not able to put myself in your shoes, then it's just, like I say, it's just yelling back and forth at each other. It's just noise. And ultimately, the conservatives and the progressives, that's, like I say, that's the problem, is the progressives clearly can only see their side. They can only see their side, and the conservatives, they're smarter people, where they're able to, they come from a point of understanding. That's why they give a little. They constantly give a little, and the left continuously take a little. They don't ever give back. They just continuously take, because they can only see their point of view. And that's why libertarianism is great, because you could dwell on either side. You could agree with some points of the left. You could agree with most points of the right. You could agree with more points on the left. If you are, you're a fucking moron. But or you could agree with more points on the right. Ultimately, that's the true freedom of America, people, is basically what makes this country great, is the ability to dwell on either side, and choose what is truly right for you.
Yeah, and remember that I don't know about all our viewers here, but we have kids, and it's cliche to say, what kind of world are you going to leave for your kids? But in reality, without freedom, there isn't a world. It's just one big prison. And let's not easily let them take what great men fought and died to give us.
Right. We ain't going down without a fight, people. This is the pinnacle of freedom. At least that's what America was designed to be, as the the years have progressed and the centuries have passed, we are so far from where we should be, or what this place was truly originally designed to be. So without further ado, you guys, we're gonna hit this and bid you adieu. Alrighty, man. Peace.
Smile later.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, bitch.